I'm so sorry. Again, the video got cut off. So, the purpose of human existence is Brahma Jigyasa. So, and then that actually leads us. And then thereafter, and for this we have to follow the footsteps, as the Lord Himself has said, of those who have realized the transcendental nature of the Lord. And as we do this, that is the goal of learning. It's as good as learning from the Lord directly. And otherwise, everything else actually does not, it may have material kind of uh, benefits. One may gain, say, material power, material knowledge, but ultimately, escaping from the cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death, which we are trying to do simply through medical science and things like that, uh, it 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 will be temporary, even if we live for because that is the nature of the material world. The nature of the material world is temporary. The Vedic Shastras talk of very large time scales, but in the, like, Brahma, the life of Brahma is also temporary. Like, it is like so many trillion years. One just, keeps adding so many trillions of years. But even Brahma, after that trillion years, which from our perspective is eternal, even Brahma's life ends, the life of the secondary creator. So the Lord says, instead of focusing on that and then wonder, and what to speak of our short lives, because in the Kali Yuga, lifespans become very short. In the Satya Yuga, lifespan was 1 lakh years, life of a human, because that there was a particular style of living which actually automatically ensured longevity. Then in the Treta Yuga, it became 10,000 years. In the Dwapar Yuga, it came down because of, this nature of this material world is to degrade. And this degradation, along with this degradation, like, the mind also degrades, so lifespans also, because the mind is impacts the body, so lifespan becomes smaller. So it was 1000 years, and for the Kali Yuga, the maximum is said to be 100. And how many live to be 100? And even if we live to be 100, as it is explained in the Isopanishad, it is useless, because if it is led according to our whims, it will only lead to degradation in the next lives. And if we take birth in the lower species, then that means prolonging our agony in this material world, because the material world is also degrading. We have now water scarcity, oxygen is becoming polluted, rivers are dying. So imagine living as lower species, living as a dog, not a dog who is a domesticated, but like the most of the dogs live, or living like other animals. It's a beastly. They're just killing one another. There is no, and to actually have that, and to, if one has takes birth in the lower species, then one has to take birth for a certain number of births before one actually upgrades to a higher species. The soul upgrades to a body in a higher species, and finally to the human species, only to liberate oneself from this cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death. And one doesn't do that, then in the Kali Yuga, things will just degrade and become worse and worse. Physical environment will become worse, societal issues, because of the degradation of the mind. Then non understanding, not being trained in the proper way, things will just degrade further and further, and adding to our miseries. So, if one keeps taking birth in those circumstances, to be liberated from the cycle of material birth, old age, disease, and that is impossibility, because the Lord has explained there's a particular way for that to be done. And what happens in industrial civilization, because our needs are now met without actually going through the karma kandas, then we kind of think that God is not necessary. But then life teaches us that that is not so. But then we don't know what to do, because even the previous generations have, the knowledge has been lost. So instead of doing that, therefore, instead of indulging in vikarma, the Lord says, read the Shastras and then decide what to do. And so without reading, without get in, and just to think that we can do what we wish and that is correct because we are all like we ourselves are God. Well, we are not, I mean, uh, one would not like to comment on that, but then the fact is that uh, if we need to, I mean, if one would not like to comment on that because we don't even understand so many things about our own lives, and to think that we are God is, I mean, the less said, the better as far as that is concerned. So, we tend to think that just getting a car, or as we wish, and manifesting a car, manifesting a house, and then all that, that is the purpose of life. Well, that is not the case, and the law of karma keeps operating, and that is what actually ensures whether we are able to upgrade or degrade. And if we keep degrading in the Kali Yuga, where things are going to get worse and worse, then that is not our. We ourselves will be responsible for our sufferings. So, with that, we I come to the conclusion of these two verses of the fourth chapter, and reading the purports, where Srila Prabhupada and his disciple Bhujana Dasa has elaborated upon some of the concepts here. I apologize for any mistakes that I may have made, and I'll stand corrected. And with that, I come to the end of this reading, and may we all be blessed to understand what the Lord is transmitting to us through the Bhagavad Gita. Take care, everyone. Stay blessed. Thank you for listening and sharing my journey of exploring the wisdom of our ancient culture through the readings from the Bhagavad Gita as it is.